Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. Today I want to talk about Beatrice Lacey from the Wideacre series by Philippa Gregory and answer the question, is Beatrice a pagan goddess of the harvest? I think so, and have thought so from my first reading of the book nearly 10 years ago. There are so many clues that she is a pagan goddess of the harvest, it is unreal. How her health and happiness seem to be linked directly to the fertility of the land is the most obvious clue. There is also the way she talks about the Wideacre secret heartbeat that only she can hear. There is also the way she describes religion as unreal to her, and the real religion to her is what is around her, the soil and the earth and the wildlife of her home, Wideacre. There is also her looks. She has described herself as a throwback, and her mother describes her as a changeling, somehow unnatural, and towards the end of the book, her husband John is convinced she is a witch. Her green eyes are set aslant, giving her an elf-like quality, and this is one of the features that both her daughter and granddaughter inherit from her. There is also the elephant in the room when talking about Wideacre. It's the incest between Beatrice and her brother Harry, which I believe is a tie to Arthurian legend and ancient pagan rituals. Incest is a device often used by authors when they want to conjure up the image of unnatural and divine humans, like in Arthurian legend with Arthur and Morgan Le Fay, who was his half-sister, or like George R. R. Martin when he describes the Targaryen dynasty, and it even goes back to the pharaohs of Egypt who married brother to sister to keep bloodlines pure. The offspring in these works of fiction often have magical powers, and the same is true here, but we will discuss Beatrice's and Harry's children at some other point. I also think Beatrice is a pagan goddess because of her relationship with Ralph. She describes him so many times as a pagan god of the earth, it seems hard not to believe that he is what Beatrice wants him to be. It is also very important to note that the first time Beatrice registers hearing the heartbeat of Wideacre is when her and Ralph make love for the first time. There is also the joint murdering of her father, which can be interpreted as a symbolic sacrifice that yields amazing harvests for the next year. However, I think it is a big sign that points to Beatrice being a pagan goddess, that she knows from the beginning, somehow, that Ralph will eventually kill her, as if she has been aware of some prediction or some ritual. On their first meeting, she describes him as looking like he wanted to murder me. And on the first time we see Ralph in the books, he says, "What sort of girl would I be out looking for with a dog and a gun?" Which is hardly a welcoming invitation. He is always very aware he is dangerous. There is also the fact he murders Richard in The Favoured Child, meaning that he has killed 3 Wideacre Lacey squires, like some strange pagan executioner god. There is also Beatrice's strange relationship with cats that point to her being a pagan goddess. She describes cats on multiple occasions as having her matching green eyes. She also describes them as her familiars, and more than once, of course, she sees cats after she does something immense. She sees a cat the night she sets the trap for Ralph in the woods, as she uses a cat to make her mother ill so she can seduce her brother Harry for the first time. However, the clinching factor for me that Beatrice is a pagan goddess is her greed. Her greed for pleasure, her greed for land, her greed for love seems to be never ending, and it is her greed that eventually destroys her, like an evil witch in a Grimm's Brothers fairy tale. In history, in both fact and fiction, it is always portrayed that powerful women are destroyed by greed, so it seems only a fitting, powerful end for a female character to be destroyed by greed. There is also her appearance in dreams to her heirs in both The Favoured Child and Meriton, but we will talk about those books some other time. I also feel it is important to remember Beatrice's web of lies and incest are uncovered by her husband, Dr. John McAndrew, a man of science. Science against magic, it is a fight as old as time itself. I don't always like Philippa Gregory's depiction of magic, but in this work I feel she got the mix of magic and real life just right. Despite Beatrice's faults, or maybe because of them, she is one of my favourite fictional characters of all time. She is most definitely a villain, but a villain you can empathise with. And for some reason I am always drawn to villainous characters in any work, whether fact or fictional. But what do you think? Is Beatrice a goddess? Or a normal woman? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to like this video. I plan to make more Wideacre book reviews very soon, and I also plan to talk about The Favourite Child and Meriden. See you next time on Jessie Berry Book Club. Bye!